Hey guys, it's Alex here, and I'm back with Football Manager 2015. It's been a while. I haven't uploaded in a little bit, but I thought it'd be a good time to update you on my world record save. As you can see in the top corner over here, we are in the year 2256. So since we've last updated, it's in 16 years. We were at Haverfordwest last time, and now we are a new club, and we've been here for 16 years. Barry Town from the Welsh Premier League. And as you can see, we have really developed this side since we took over. We took over in the 2240 summer when they just finished 9th in the league. And as you can see, as we go along, we have really developed this club into a force to be reckoned with. So I'll give you a little update on how things have been going. Okay, so we're not here with the Football Manager, but this is one of the big things that happened with this Barry side, because I want to give myself challenges when I develop a new side. And as you can see, we have the major nations from 22, 55, 56. And the rule that we applied with Barry was that we are not allowed to sign any players with a nationality from any of the top 15 nations each year. So as you can see, this was the year just gone by. We are not allowed to sign any players that are Dutch, French, Ukrainian, Belgian, English, Spanish, German, Russian, Portugal, Czech Republic, Italian, Hungarian, Swedish, Greek, or Nigerian. As you can see, there's no Brazilians or Argentinians, and that will come very evident as we go along what we've done with Barry. And as you can see, if I show the other scenes, there's 54, 55. You can see the few different changes. Ecuador are in there, Poland are in there. We have all the way back down in 22, 41, 42. They used to have the likes of Brazil in there, Croatia, Norway, Germany were 14th at one point. There was one season Germany were out. It's been very interesting to see, and it has changed the way we've been able to make signings and really changed, made us try out different players, and also probably got us one of our best ever players we've had. So let's actually go have a look at our journey with Barry. Okay, so as you can see, the year we took over, the year we resigned from Haverfordwest, we had just won 32 out of 32, and Barry, meanwhile, had got 39 points and finished 9th place in the league. Our transfers wise, we could sign Welsh players, and that was what we did a lot. We also signed some very odd nationalities, because obviously we couldn't sign the big ones. Momchil Stoyanov, who's Bulgarian, we signed him. Some Greek players, Panagiotis Zumas, he's now at Blackburn. A lot of these players are retired by now, such as Dragoslav Ramic, we signed him. Jesper Rygaard, he's now a manager. It kind of shows how long, unfortunately he was only with us for a year, but we weren't able to sign the French, the English, the Italian, the Spanish, the German players, because those are the big players, especially in FM15. There's a lot less variance in good nationalities. In FM 21 and 22, you have a lot more higher chance of really crazy nation having a really good player, and FM 15 it's not so much, but we did make some good sales there. Our first season, it went well. This is the season here. We started off relatively well. We did get a few hidings everywhere. You had a 5-0 versus Port Talbot, a 6-1 versus Haverfordwest. It's quite hard to go from winning every game of the season to then getting smashed 6-1 by your old club. It was very sad, because this entire team that I'd built then went on and just were awful to us. The problem was our first season, we did really well in the first half, I think. And as you can see in the stages, we got into 6th, but that's an issue, because after 22 games, the league splits into a top half and a bottom half. And the top half have to play each other again another 2 times, where the bottom half play each other. So theoretically, it would maybe have been better to finish 7th, so then I could play all of these sides again. Instead, I got into 6th and then had to play all of the big teams twice more. And as you can see, I only got 36 points that season. I lost 16 games. My goal difference was minus 24. I had less points than 8th place TNS, and that's very noticeable from the fixture schedule. I literally got 1 win in I think it was 10 games, and I was nearly sacked by Barry. They had a meeting with me at the end of the season. Even though we won in the semi-final and the playoff final to get into Europe, qualifying the first ever time, they'd never done that before. They still called me in and said, if you don't start next season well, we're going to sack you, which was very, very annoying to me. But it was a decent season. We got them to their highest ever league finish. So we move on to next season. We were straight into the Europa League group stage, actually, because of what I've done in Wales. The coefficient is so high. The league, I think, is ranked second in the world. We get straight into the group stage. In the next season, we signed a lot more players. Serbia was opened up, so we signed a lot of Serbians. We signed some Scottish players, some Polish players. Darren Dingwall and Declan McBride were two fantastic free transfers we picked up that were here for a long time. Then Declan McBride as well. He was a fantastic goal scorer for us. As you can see, 108 goals for us in total. But as I show you, we had a Europa League group stage, first ever time in Europe. We drew our first ever game, though, which was good, versus Karpati. We played Valencia. We also played Copenhagen, got our first ever win, which was cool. As you can see, still losing a few games. Only losing 1-0 to Haverfordwest was considered an actual incredible achievement back then. We beat Copenhagen 5-0, drew with Karpati, beat Valencia. So we actually got into the knockout stages at the first time of asking. But as you can see, this is when the form turns down again when we have that second half of the season. We did get knocked out by Stade Rennais, but if you look at the table, we did much better. We got up to 5th. We actually finished above Aberystwyth. Aberystwyth was the team we could always beat, which was quite nice for us. So we developed quite well there. And then we move on to the next season, into the third season. We're still making free transfers. Our first ever money transfer. We had very little money at the time. 60k for Andreas Flitty Onstad, who was Norwegian. We also got a former Haverfordwest player from our youth intake, Welsh player, Mirko Damjanovic, another Serbian. Serbia was really, really big for us early on. They were one of the best sort of teams about there. Still not making too much money in the sales there. But as you can see, we did pretty well again, got into the Europa League again. We had Dynamo Kiev, McKellen, and Stoke, of all people, in our Europa League group, because Stoke are doing well. And got through, actually, all the way to the quarter-final. We beat Braga 3-0. And 3-0. We lost to Getafe, but then beat them 3-0 in the comeback, and then went out to Benfica, who, as you'll see, Benfica were a constant thorn in our sides throughout this time. We have a bit of a rivalry with them, but to get to a Europa League quarterfinals with the squad we had was incredible. And then, as you can see in the league stages, we finished 4th, so another jump up to 57 points. We're slowly starting to get better. I still, at this point, don't think we'd even got a win over Haverfordwest. We have yet to win. We got a draw with them, which was absolutely huge for us at the time. I think maybe one of our first ever points with Haverfordwest. So we got a 3-3 with them as well there. We nearly won that game. It was a big thing trying to beat them, as we lost 6-1 to them there as well. We move into the next season. We make some more signings. We're actually starting to spend some money. We had a massive sale, our biggest ever sale, Damjanovic to Afan Lido, a rival, but for 30 million. Huge money coming in. A few more other sales allowed us to actually go out and spend some money. We brought in a new goalkeeper who's Swiss, another striker, another goalkeeper, some Czech Republic, because Czech Republic had finally dropped out of the top 15. They'd been in there for the top sort of first 3 or 4 seasons, and now we could actually sign them. So we signed Tom Ward from Sparta Prague, and this guy is still here with us 16 years later, or I'd say 13 years later. 31 years old, an incredible player for us. He now has the record for the most league appearances for Barry. That's how important this guy has been to us. So it was incredible to get the Czech Republic out. And also another player we signed, Christian Neom, for 5.5k, a Cameroonian from a Cameroonian second tier side. We'll show him a little bit later, but he is still at the club as well. But obviously, we continue on as the season progresses into the 43-44 season, and we're actually in the Champions League playoffs at that point, because we finished 4th, and Wales gets 4 spots, and we actually got through it. We drew with Rubin 3-3 with 2 red cards, and beat them 2-0 at home to go into the Champions League group stages for the first time ever. And we were rewarded with probably one of the hardest groups I've ever faced in Football Manager. We had Arsenal, who were Premier League champions and were in an era of dominance, probably 6 or 7 Premier League titles in a row. We had Juventus, who were Serie A champions, and we also had PSG, who were Liga champions, and had so it wasn't the best. We did get a win over Juventus, incredibly, a draw with PSG. And a draw with Juventus. So we didn't go through. We came third, though, which was incredible based on what we attempted when we went out to Inter Milan in the first knockout round. But a good season for us. We were in the league again another year in fourth. We still had a long way to go to jump up to those sort of top 3 spots. But we were developing. We then go into the next season, some more transfers out. We're sort of starting to make a bit more money on transfers out, which is good. Starting to spend a bit more on him. 8.5 million on Branislav Basaric, another Serbian. And as you can see, we're starting to sort of make a lot more transfers of players in and out, which is pretty decent. We actually lost the best playoff to Monaco, who are a very good side, but we went to the Europa League, played Derby, funnily enough, played Rubin and played Partizan, so we got through that group easily, but lost to Bayern. And we also lost, as you can see, 5 or 6 years in, we're still losing to Penny Bon 8-2. Really, really big. We also lost a Welsh Cup final to Haverfordwest 2-0. So we got close, but no cigar for us. But in the league, we finished, as you can see, another 4th place. We're catching. We're starting to catch. But as you can see, throughout the years, Haverfordwest still dominating. Haverfordwest, they didn't win all the games at any point, I don't think, but they were still very, very dominant. But we continue on. So they just actually lost their manager. We're going into the next season. I guess this is the 5th season, I'd say. The 5th season, yeah. As you can see, a lot of transfer business here. Lots of loans starting to happen, lots of players going out, making some money with huge money. Dingwall, a stalwart for us, goes out for 20 million to Ipswich. And coming in, we spent 20 million. Lots of money coming in and going out the door. We're spending a lot of players. This, hilariously enough, was a wild year. We signed a player from the Netherlands because the Netherlands had actually dropped out of the top 15 at this point. So we signed Robert McDonald, who is now at Chesterfield. We also signed 2 Paraguayans, Javier Duarte from Libertad, both from Libertad actually, for 4 million, who is a Paraguayan centre-mid who was incredible for us, and Juan Manuel Pogas, who is another incredible Paraguayan. I never knew Paraguayans could be so good, but he's now at Aberystwyth as well. But as you can see, he was ridiculous for us. He got 50 goals in a season twice, I think, for us. He was ridiculous. In one season, he got more goals than games. That is really, really good. So they were 2 signings that were absolutely huge for us. And we've been sort of starting to make a thing where we had a Spanish affiliate, so any South Americans can spend 2 years in South America and get, not in South America, in Spain, and get Spanish nationality. So you can sign loads of South Americans, send them to your affiliate for 2 years, and then you don't need work permits anymore. So that was really, really helpful for us. So that, as you can see, as time goes on, we start to abuse that quite a lot. But in the 45-46 season, we beat Porto in the playoff, which is incredible. They were a very good side and had a Champions League group of Grasshoppers, Shakhtar, and Benfica, of course. We lost to them both times, unfortunately. But we got to a Premier League Cup final, lost to Aberystwyth, unfortunately. We got to the Champions League knockout rounds for, I think, the first time ever. Lost to Monaco again. Lots of early losses. But this season was something incredible. We got a win over Haverfordwest. Actually, I think the first win over Haverfordwest on the first day of the season. First ever win, 5 years in. Boban Vukovic with the goal. But yes, this year was something incredible. As you can see, if we go to the table, we won the league. It was... I don't think it was really us winning the league. As you can see, we only had 72 points. And if you look at the previous seasons, 88, 85. There's a 75 there, an 82. But 72 points is probably one of the lowest ever winnings, points tally for the league. And that is because Haverfordwest got a new manager and completely dropped off, completely. And the reason we won it, and it was incredible actually, because we won it not on the final day. This game didn't matter. We won it on the second final day of the season in the 87th minute over Haverfordwest away from home. Who would have thought? We hadn't beaten them in 5 years, and we beat them twice this year. They took the early lead through a former player of ours. Declan McBride got us back on with a penalty, and then we go 2-1 up. They equalise in the 80th minute, and I go, oh, okay, this is going to be a draw. We have to go to the final day of the season. But then in the 87th minute, John Jurgens, one of our Dutch players we brought in on a free, scored to win us the first ever title. So that was incredible. Is in madness. We move into our next season as champions. A lot more transfers going on. 71 million brought in. We sold a lot of players. This is start to be when we start bringing in lots of players, selling lots of players, sort of having that loan army. As you can see, you're sort of seeing Raul Reyes go to Albacete, Carlos Torres. These are the sort of players going off to try and get work permits, but more transfers coming in as well. Argentinian Juan Carlos Vivas, he was Argentina, obviously haven't been in the top 15 for a long time actually. Claudio Bohm as well, he's Argentinian. This was the first year we had Argentinians come in, and as you can see we went a little bit crazy with them, signing a lot of them. Most of them didn't work out, but you get a bit of money back on some of them. But yeah, this next year we went back into the league. We had another Champions League group, got through the first knockout round for the first time, beating Lille, got to the quarterfinals where we had Ajax, and we lost 5-4 in aggregate. I thought we could get through to the semi-finals this year. They scored in the 92nd minute of the home game, and then we lost 3-2 away, getting 2 late goals, but it wasn't enough for us. But if you look at the league table, we also lost the league. Haverfordwest got a new manager, and we're fully back in form. Only 1 loss all year to us. So we did okay, but and we got 2 more draws, but they were just too good. 83 points title back for them there. We continue on to the next year. More transfers. There's lots going on here. Lots of players coming in and out as we sort of have a bit more money now. Now that we made a bit of money, we can actually work it, because a lot of the time we were losing so much money every year. And it was sort of sell to buy sort of stuff, or just sell to stay afloat. But now we can actually buy players, so that's pretty decent. And as you can see, if we go to the schedule, we continue on to the next year. We have another Champions League group. We get through to the knockout legs. I think we've already looked at this one. There we go. Here's the next one. Another league campaign. We get to the knockout rounds. Lose to Arsenal, unfortunately. They scored in the 121st minute to go through, which was very upsetting for us. That was, unfortunate for us there. But in the league, we actually won back the league. 77 points, 1 point clear of Haverfordwest. Absolutely madness. We literally won it again on the second final day by beating Haverfordwest. So the last day didn't mean anything. We lost 2-0. So that's quite nice to see. We keep moving on from this point. We keep signing players. Lots of Argentinians coming in at this point. Lots of other random players, as you can see. Lots of money coming in as well. Declan McBride finally left 45 million to Middlesbrough, who were Premier League hopefuls at that point. The Premier League's all over the place, lads. I'll do another video for that. But this is just the Barry journey at this point. I think this is the next year. The next year, we just need to move. Sometimes it glitches out. We actually got a Premier League Cup final win. There we go. I think this was the first one. 2-1 in extra time over Port Talbot. A first ever cup domestic win for us, I think. We'd won the league before we'd won a domestic cup. But Boban Vukovic in the 100th minute winning it for us there. We also went out again in the knockout rounds to Benfica. They are a thorn in our sides, always being there. They're so good. But we continued winning in the league. 71 points, 1 point the difference again. It's a lot of close calls here. We literally needed to win on the final day to do it that time. 3-1 we beat Afan Lido by, so very, very needed there. Moving to the next year, we go into our 49-50 season, which is I think our ninth season or 10th season, I guess. Making more sales. Vukovic going out, Berregard going out. Lots of big money. We went on 167 million. We spent 33. So lots of new players coming in and out of the side, basically. Lots more Argentinians as well. Some more free transfers. But we move into the next season. We start the league campaign well again, get into a Premier League Cup final, beat TNS 5-0 in the final. Very easy stuff at that point. Beat Fenerbahce in the knockout rounds, which is nice. beat Lyon in the quarterfinals. We win 3-1 at home and lose 2-1 away to go through. We have a semi-final versus Köln, which we won 3-2 away. We went 2-0 down within the first 10 minutes, and then we completely turned it around. Ottar Hoggett-Veit, a Norwegian striker for us, getting 2, and Juan Manuel Poggers getting 1, the Paraguayan, and then win 5-0 at home. So we have a Champions League final to go to. And who, of all people, Benfica in the final. 4-2 on the 10th anniversary of us managing Barry. We'd never even got past the quarterfinal before. We faced Benfica. They were the only team before us when we'd left Haverfordwest the last Champions League we won with Haverfordwest was beating Benfica. They were the reigning holders as well. They'd won it the previous year. And we beat them 4-2. Christian Neom, they actually took the lead in the 11th minute, but Christian Neom equalised for us. And then it was the Juan Manuel Poggers show. A hat-trick for him within 13 minutes of the second half. And they had a late goal, but only consolation. Barry Town were Champions League winners. Absolutely huge. 10th season, and we were Champions League winners. And it's like, okay, well, let's see what we can do now. Where do we go from here? We keep going. We keep moving on. We also won the league title. Of course we did. If I actually show you, let's go back to the league campaign, the 49-50 season. We actually won it by a landslide. Haverfordwest full off completely. 82 points for us. Only 2 losses the entire season. Very nice work from us. So obviously, Champions League holders, what do? We sell a load of players. We sell our best player, Ottar Hoggett-Veit. Not our best player, but one of our best players for 60 million to Aberystwyth. He is a story. He is a story in himself, Hoggett-Veit. Bring in lots more players when we go again. We see, can we go back to back now? Let's go back to back. We win the Europa Super Cup, which is hilarious, versus Middlesbrough, who had our former player Declan McBride on them. Juan Manuel Poggers with 4. This is when you can see he starts to do very, very well. We lose the Club World Championship final to Sao Paulo here. They had 3 shots on target this game. So, yeah, very, very miffed at that. But we did win the Premier League Cup final versus Penny Bont. And we go through, we face Köln in the knockout first round, beat them again. We have Bayern, and we go through on away goals after a 2-2 away draw with them. And then we have Ajax, of all people, and we get revenge on them, winning 1-0 away and 2-2 draw at home to go through to another Champions League final where we face Real Madrid, and it's back-to-back. Javier Duarte, our Paraguayan, and then 2 more from Poggers. The Paraguayans, this is why I love I've got a newfound respect for Paraguayan players. These 2 carried me there, and we go back to back in the Champions League. And as you can see in the league, we dominate again. 73 wins, not as much, 5 losses over the season, but Haverfordwest, they're starting to lose some of my players that I brought in. They're not rejuvenating enough. They've got an aging squad, and they're just not competing. We move into the 12th season. Obviously, we're looking for the Real Madrid, the treble back-to-back. Sign some more Argentinians as per usual, sign some more players. We're sort of trying to get players now for a loan army. As you can see, we're getting a lot of money. We are starting to sell big players, though, to our rivals. Zdravko Staful for 50 million to Afan Lido. He was a Croatian striker. We brought in, we make a lot of profit. He's still at Afan Lido. We bought him in for 2.5 million. 2 seasons later, sell him on for 50 million. Not too bad. Kirkevold, another Norwegian. Basaric, a player that's been in with us for a long time after Aberystwyth. There's a lot of our former players going to the other leagues now. The other teams in the league. We win the Europa Super Cup against Afan Lido, incredibly. It's an all-Welsh Super Cup as Afan Lido won the Europa League, which was very cool. We then go through, we win, finally, the Club World Cup, the only trophy we hadn't won, beating Corinthians 5-2 in the final, even though we had a man sent off, which is very nice to see. We beat Haverfordwest in the Premier League Cup final in extra time. And then, as you can see, we beat Köln again in the knockouts. Don't know why we've got them. Beat Real Madrid in the quarters. So the final was in the quarters this time, but lose 2-1 at home, away, 3-1 at home. Beat PSG. This was a mental game, like absolutely crazy. We won 5-4 at home in this game. They take the lead in the first minute. We then, they make a 2-0 lead within 10 minutes. We bring it back to 2-2, then go 3-2. I think we were 5-2 up actually in this game, and then they score 2 to make it 5-4. The away game was even crazier. They score in the 38th minute. To go away, they'll be going through on away goals. We equalise in the 39th. Then we go 2-1 up in the 43rd, 3-1 up in the 49th. Oh no, they bring it up to 2-2. Then it goes 3-2. Then I think it's 4-2. Then 5-2. Then it goes 5-3. Then we go 6-3. Then they make it 6-4, 6-5. So we go through 11-9 on aggregate. I think it's probably one of the biggest ever aggregate scores I've ever seen. And as you can see, Porto in the final, we beat them 3-1. Carlos Godoy, an Argentinian, Aldo Cocaveda, another Argentinian, and Juan Manuel Pogas getting the third there to give us a easy win and a treble of back-to-back Champions League wins, which is incredible for us. And as you can see, another dominant league win, 77 points. Haverford had an awful season. It's probably the worst season they've ever had. I don't know what happened with them. Their new manager got sacked pretty quickly. 48 points. Insane stuff. But yeah, we move on. So we're into our 14th season. We're getting close to nowadays now. We make a lot more transfers. A lot more. But one of the big ones, we have a few more big transfers out. But as you can see here, we go through again. We win the Super Cup, which is nice. We win the Club World Cup against Sao Paulo in the 94th minute. Win the Premier League Cup final. We play Sporting, beat them in the first knockout round. Beat Porto in the quarters, and then we lose to PSG in the semi-finals. No quad, I guess, quadruple back to back. We lose to PSG. They get revenge on us from the semi-final of the year before. We draw 2-2 at home, them scoring 2 free kicks, being their only 2 goals shots on target, as per usual. It's Football Manager. And then we lose 2-1 away from home, and no Champions League there. Unfortunate for us. As you can see, we do win the league, though. We keep winning the league, 77 points. We're now trying to go for an unbeaten season, but it's tough. It's tough. So obviously we try and win it back the next year. Although, is it this year? No, we're still having a Duarte leaves. There's a lot of sort of Champions League winning side now that's starting to leave, and we're trying to rejuvenate the squad, bringing in new players and whatnot. The Brazil have actually fallen out of the top 15 because they're hosting the World Cup, so they don't do any qualifiers. So this is how we got some cool Brazilians in our squad. But as you can see with the season, we start well. I think we win the Premier League Cup final. Very nice, 4-2 over Port Talbot. But we lose to Haverford, 2-0 away, 2-1 at home. Just, I don't know what happened there. Absolutely smashed us, and we lose the Welsh Cup final on penalties to Afan Lido. So it was a terrible season in that regards, honestly. And I think we did win the league, but it was not good. It was not good. We keep making more transfers. The transfers, I don't think they mean anything to you at this point anymore. Although Juan Manuel Pogas finally did leave for 40 million to Aberystwyth, our best ever striker probably. But he had to go. He wasn't very good anymore. He was sort of falling off. And as you can see, to be honest, if you look at his stats now, he has really fallen off. Let's have a look. Let's go to his stats. There you go. So the last season we had him, he only scored 22 in 28, which compared to before, 42 and 51 and stuff, it wasn't so good. And the past 2 seasons there, he's really fallen off last year. So just getting old, unfortunately. But we go again. We try and go and win again the Champions League, try and reclaim it. We get all the way to the semi-finals, and we lose 2-2 at home with a man sent off, and 3-2 away. The French teams are ridiculously good. Because we haven't been able to steal any French players, the French teams are incredible. PSG and Lyon both have tycoon owners. They are ridiculously good. So we went out to Lyon here, unfortunately. We also, I think, where was it? We lost the Welsh Cup final to Afan Lido 3-2 after we got a man sent off in the 20th minute. And we lost the Premier League Cup final 7-5 in extra time, having another man sent off. So we literally only won the league that year. It was probably our worst season since we'd started winning things. We won and we lost, actually. I can't believe it. This was probably the worst season we've ever had. And we lost our unbeaten season on the final day. So we had a stream where I think we played Shakhtar 1-5-1. We won 5-0 and everything was good. We lost our unbeaten season. We lost the Champions League and we lost in the Cup. It was not good at all. But that brings us to this year. where we are in our 16th season, still going for that unbeaten season, going for the Champions League reclaim and the Welsh Cup and the Premier League Cup at this point. We lost in the Premier League Cup, unfortunately, 3-2 to Afan Lido. That's annoying. But as you can see, we beat Porto in the first knockout round. I was quite happy with that. We had PSG in the quarters, and I was like, oh, I'm really worried. But we won 2-0 at home, and somehow, I don't know where it came from, 5-1 away. Absolutely incredible. We then took on Bayern in the semi-final. We absolutely dominated them. I think we had 9 clear-cut chances in this first leg. Only won 3-0 away from home. 4-0 at home. We won the Welsh Cup over Penybont, and as you can see, a 3-0 win over Sporting in the final. They did have a sending off, which helps them. Paolo Sergio, but Alfonso Napoles, Nassif, and Neom with the goals. Absolutely incredible. So that leaves us where we are now. We've won quite a lot at this point. If I show you the actual past winners, you can see we took over in 22-40. We never really got there, and then we just won that sixth season out of nowhere, the fifth season, came second, and then since then absolutely dominated the league. The Welsh Cup we've not been successful in. We lost our first final. We finally won it, and then we lost a few more. We recently won it and lost it twice, but we won it 4 times in total. Premier League Cup we were a bit more dominant in. Took us a long time to win it. Took us 9 years to win it, pretty much. We nearly took us along to win the Champions League, but we then went on a Man City-esque run, winning it 6 times. We did lose in the final 2 years ago, and then we didn't even get to the final last year, unfortunately, losing in the semi-final. And then if we look at the Champions League, we have done very, very well. As you can see, we didn't do anything, and then finally won at Benfica, beat Real Madrid, beat Porto, and then as you can see, the French dominance, PSG, Lyon, and then we've won it back again. There was 2 all-French finals. Basically, France and Portugal are ridiculously good. As you can see, I think since 2250, there's only been 1 non-French, Welsh, or Portuguese team in the final, and that was Real Madrid. That's how dominant France and Portugal are in this save. But it's been an incredible time. As you can see with our squad, we've got an incredible squad at the moment. As you can see, Christian Neon, this guy, I talked about him earlier, we bought him for 5.5k. He was Cameroonian. I went, well, it's 5.5k. How like, it's not going to be a waste. He is our world-class player, 30 years old. He has won World Player of the Year twice. He has been incredible for us. He was a right winger, and I changed him to be a striker because we play a 4-3-3. And he has really turned, as you can see, 29 goals, 27 assists in 38 games. Season before, very similar. He has been incredible for us. If I actually look at the World Player of the Year, there we go, the awards voting. He won it back in 22-51, 27 goals, 22 assists, and then he's literally just won it recently, 19 goals, 20 assists. I think we had a player come third once as well, but one of our players winning World Player of the Year, very, very good. We've got a very good squad around us. Got some Argentinians. As you can see, Argentina are a big thing. And here's a guy, Gabriel Aldacoa, Darth Vader. We nicknamed him because his name was Gabriel Aldacoa Vader. But centre mid, Argentina have really propped us up, basically. Lionel Aguirre, he's well Argentinian Welsh now because he's actually been here for 5 years. A right back, he is incredible. Castellano as well. This man is an average rating just magnet. Has an 8.38 over the season. Played left back for us. As you can see, it's very Argentinian dominated. But we've also got a lot of other players. We've got Czech there. As you can see, the nationalities, lots of Argentinians, lots of Brazilians at the moment, but also you've got Cameroon, Colombia, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Ecuador, a few English and French just from our youth intake. You've got Ghana, Greece, a few Netherlands, Hungary, India. There's a few Italians. Italy dropped out of the top 15 for a season. Mexico, Morocco, Norwegian. There's a Paraguayan still left. 2 Polish, Serbia, Sweden, Turkey, and then obviously Wales at the end. It's been really fun going with this save and continuing on. We're still going to keep going with this Barry side. We've actually got a new stadium built as well, which is incredible. It took us until building winning the Champions League, and the Blackmore Arena was made after one of their legends, one of their centre-backs, Jordan Blackmore. So not named after me. Unfortunately, it's already at max capacity, and we're 11,000. It was built in 2252, I think it was. Yes. So we have I don't know, 16 years before we can build another one. Hopefully, the more arena. But we will see. But as you can see, we're doing very well. We've got a few legends here. Duarte, Poggers, Tom Ward, Neom, Castellano, and myself, of course. It's been an incredible time. If we look at our records, as you can see, Tom Ward has the most appearances. Poggers has the most goals. It's very good. We've also spent very little and made a lot of money in the meantime. We're going to keep going. We're going for more unbeaten seasons. We're going for more Champions League. We're going to make it harder as well. We might start increasing it so we can only sign players from clubs below the top 20. So instead of like not being able to sign players from the top 15, might go top 20, or we might go European only due to our reliance. As you look at the first team 11 there, we've got 6 Argentinians in that. So you might change it up and be like, okay, no more South America, only Europe. You've got to stick with domestic. But we'll see how things go. We also want to build some nations up, maybe sign loads of players from a smaller nation and see if we can develop their nation, because we've seen some very interesting underdogs through the World Cup and Euros as we've gone along. But yeah, this is the story of Barry. It will keep continuing. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. This save, we're going for the world record. We're at 240 seasons now, so it's a long way. But we got a long way to go still. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll be back with more Barry at some point and more of this save. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been Alex, and I'll see you guys next time.